Just before this episode starts, if you enjoy the Legit podcast, we produce 4 exclusive bonus episodes per month for our private members club on patreon.com. For the price of £1 a week, that's just £4 a month, the price of a beer or a fancy coffee, we produce these bonus episodes that have special guests on, various topics, and there's also merchandise offers and various bonuses you can have, competitions, all kinds. Get over there, support us, support the podcast by giving just £1 a week, link is below.
This episode of the podcast is kindly sponsored by Feel Supreme. Feel Supreme have been sponsoring the podcast for a number of weeks now. They're an incredible company. They've got the most diverse range of supplements. I've got some here, the CBD, which I've been taking, which is brilliant. The mushroom extract as well, which I've been taking once a day. They've got vitamin D3, vitamin C, a huge range of different health supplements, and you can get 10% off if you go to the code below, go to the link below, which is feelsupreme.co.uk/legit, and you get 10% off by clicking through and going through their website through that link below. Please support them. They've been a huge support of the podcast. They've got the most incredible products that I take daily, myself and Andy take daily as well. So anything you can do to support them ultimately supports us. Everything CBD, vitamin D3, vitamin C, which is obviously vitamin D3 massive at the moment, and vitamin C obviously really important for immune support. So go to the link below, click through, and you'll get 10% off your order.
Okay, now. Have to do with fucking 2 legs, Andy. I don't know your manager.
Oh God. Chris, we think we're going to put this. We don't know if we're going to. This is just for Patreon, or maybe we might.
I think. Do you want to kick it off then officially, Tom?
Yeah. Well, it's the new year. I think this is ultimately the first podcast, isn't it, of 2021? We haven't done any before. We've done obviously all this shit's kicked off, so we might go back to Zoom. We'll maybe figure something out. I don't know what we're going to figure out, but we might do it in person. We don't know, but. I think, Chris, whenever we've done the Patreon episodes,
okay,
I've really, really enjoyed them. Like I've really, really enjoyed them. They feel more relaxed, I feel, than the actual public
therapy.
It is real therapy, mate. Honestly, it really is. I've really needed it this week. Honestly, I mean, I tried to do dry January for 48 hours, and that went straight out the window.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, and so we're back in.
I think, mate, as well, the good thing about this, Chris, will be this was normally be one of the shows we do for our Patreon members, but it's just going to be a bit of a podcast for people to see as well, just the type of shit that we talk just for our Patreon members. People might want to sign up and listen to more of it, maybe, so who knows.
It's like being a crack dealer, isn't it? You got to give them a free bit of crack to get them to buy the good stuff. I'm told anyway, so I'm told.
I know the first 4 minutes were, I enjoyed the first 4 minutes of you trying to figure out how to use Zoom, even though surely in the past 10 months you've used Zoom before.
I literally had to download this. I've never done Zoom, never made banana bread, haven't seen Tiger King. I've managed to swerve throughout the entire pandemic.
You didn't watch Tiger King?
No.
Wow.
But I feel like I have seen it. It's like The Godfather. I've never seen The Godfather, but I've heard so much about it that even when I see like the film, it just looks comical to me because it's been parodied that much. I can't even take it seriously. I'm a big cinephile. That means someone likes films, by the way. I love films, but I've never seen The Godfathers.
Isn't that not like a bit of a religion? You know, you sat down at some point in your life and told you need to watch this.
Yeah, people have, but I just can't be honest. I'm not even a big fan of gangster films, to be honest with you. And it just seems, when you see it going, I just feel like you just look like a prick.
I'm so surprised that you haven't watched Tiger. I mean, that was at the height of when all this kicked off back in April. That was like the one thing that everyone was talking about, Tiger King.
Well, what were you doing?
I think about it. I just didn't. My missus told me about it all the way through it, so I just felt like I'd watched it, and everyone was talking about it that much that I thought it's pointless me watching this. It's like someone saying Star Wars, oh, Darth Vader's a half fella. You go, all right, I'll swerve that then because it's all done.
Yeah.
I need what I need to know is I know, so it doesn't matter.
I think Tiger King was so successful I mean, it's a good documentary, but I think it was so successful because of I think they caught the wave of when everyone was sat at home, big style. And it just,
Yeah, I mean, if we weren't trapped, no one would have given a shit about it, would they? No one would have watched it.
Yeah, they would have, but it wouldn't be like
No,
where it went.
it went insane.
I think you could
No,
say
things
that about so much stuff during lockdown. You know, I don't think loads of things during lockdown would have been as, I'm talking some of the positive stuff, like, you know, the Tiger King
banana
stuff.
bread,
But, what?
sourdough, banana bread.
I haven't done that yet, but I just think, yeah, the lockdown just heightened so many things, didn't it?
Yeah,
Oh, massively.
I mean, people watched like 8 episodes of a girl playing chess and raved about it. You know, that wouldn't have happened, would it, if we weren't all stuck in the house?
I think you can relate as like in terms of the views that we've got on our podcast. You would think that because I think majority of people listen to this when they're driving, and I certainly listen to majority of podcasts when I'm driving. But you can really see since March the 23rd, then like more of an increase of people just got more time to actually listen or consume any sort of content, regardless of what it is.
That's it. It's when you get the notification on like your iPad or your watch on your phone saying you've watched so many hours of YouTube, and you think, Jesus Christ, it's like 4 or 5 hours a day because you just got it on all the time while you're just like doing the washing, walking the dog. So you're just constantly getting your battering your download, aren't you? So
Yeah.
and then you're desperate sometimes for content, aren't you? Like, you know, you watch like your Jimmy Kimmels and your Seth Meyers and stuff. You're like, I need more stuff.
Although I've heard people say that when the working from home has stopped people listening to podcasts. I know a couple of people who've said that, you know, normally it's their commute to work is 45 minutes and they'll listen to maybe first half and then on the way to work and the second half on the way back, and then obviously they're working from home now. So I've heard people say that they don't listen as much as well, but it swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, well, I tend to listen to them when I'm walking the dogs and then I'm driving to gigs and stuff. I find it quite boring now to listen to music for a long time, whereas now I need to be entertained. Why people listen to stuff like this. I listen to these ones. I listen to the ones that I like, but now I want to be entertained all the time. You know, even though I'm just, you know, washing the dishes, you know, putting the kettle on, emptying the dishwasher, I need to listen to something or watch something, have something on in the background. You can't just get on with things now, can you? So it's bonkers.
I'm constantly walking around with earpods in, just listening to stuff all the time, just in the house, just doing the dishes, you know, hoovering up, everything, just with my earpods in.
Andrew, do you know the comedian Andrew Schultz? Is it Andrew Schultz, Chris?
It's not familiar, that name.
Does it?
Is it English?
No, American comedian. He started doing he'd commentate on. He's got a Netflix special at the moment.
Oh yeah, you know, I've seen that trailer actually. I put it on my watch list. Yeah.
That really kicked off for him during lockdown because he couldn't obviously do stand up like you guys couldn't do stand up, so he did like 10-minute segments on Instagram where he talk about the topics that happened on the week in a obviously comedic style, and then obviously he got a Netflix. He's a big comedian already, but he got a Netflix special just purely.
That's the one that goes on like the really fast rants about things.
Yeah, he's been on Rogan a few times. I quite like. He's a good comedian. I really like him. And that you did try and get away from the dogs.
Oh, see, this is what happened when I couldn't escape to my man cave. The dog, Marty, say hello. Come here, say hello.
What's the dog called, Chris?
He's called Marty.
Marty.
Martin. His name's Martin Clunes. It's a long story. I didn't name him. My daughter named him Martin Clunes.
Isn't that
nothing like him?
What's he out of?
Martin Clunes, he was out of men behaving badly.
That's it. Yeah. He's that doctor as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's Dr. I don't know, Chivago or whatever he is now. But he's something. But yeah.
Oh my God, what show that was, Men Behaving Badly, remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember that song?
I do, yeah. No, I do. Yeah.
I used to love that show. What a blast from the past that was.
Leslie Ash was in it, wasn't she?
Yeah.
She went away and she came back with those massive Botox lips, and people just said to her, "Love, what have you done? You look like you've been snogging like heating tongues." She come back all messed up, didn't she?
She was one of the first kind of Botoxed kind of like plastic surgery that I can remember.
I've always wondered why it still carried on and people still get that done after seeing people getting that done and thinking, what have you done to yourself? It's brutal.
Did you see as well? I seen a stat during lockdown talking about things getting accentuated. Plastic surgery, something went up something like 500%
Really?
during lockdown. Yeah.
You think it'll go down, wouldn't you?
No, well, do you think though? Because there's people just at home, on social media comparing themselves to everyone else, and
Themselves getting old.
You know what? There's so many businesses during this whole thing that you'd think, how in a million years would that, like garden centres, or if you actually thought about it before, like tell me businesses that are going to do well in a pandemic, you'd say, all right, healthcare, those sort of things, maybe supermarkets, maybe. But it's difficult to tell if you've never been through a pandemic. But like even used cars, used car sales have gone through the roof. New car sales have not, but used car sales have.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I think it's like B&Q and all like these garden places. You never want this to end, do you? Because that's all people are doing now. Like I know loads of people who've said, well, we're not going on Aldi, so we're getting the kitchen done. We're not going on Aldi, so we're getting the bathroom done. If they're stuck at home and they want the home to look great, so it's great if you sell kitchens and bathrooms and porn.
What would be the one thing? What would be the one thing if someone said to you, right, Chris, Tom, listen, lads, on January the 1st, someone said, right, boys, crazy year ahead, pandemic, I gave you a brief outline of what's going to happen. What business would you have either started up or invested in, knowing what you know now? It's a year ago. It's January 2020, and someone kind of gives you a brief outline. Where's your money going?
ScotchEggsToPubs.com. Sell substantial Scotch eggs to pubs so they can stay open. Yeah. That's it. Like I say, those people who've done well out of it is going to be people like it's going to be like the likes of Deliveroo and stuff, haven't they? And all these people.
Oh, they're flying.
Yeah.
It's got to be a Tory PPE contract, isn't it? That's got to be up there in terms of like 100 and something million, wasn't it?
I mean, if you could go back to March and have masks ready. To like the way you can get them now everywhere, they're just absolutely everywhere. Like not just like medical ones, the ones you like with like bat signs on and My Little Pony and like Superman symbols and weed signs. That's what you do because you couldn't get them, could you? At the beginning, you just couldn't get a mask. If you go back and sell masks to Tesco by millions, you'd make a fortune, wouldn't you? So that's what I'd be doing.
The mask thing was so frustrating at the start, wasn't it? Because if you never had one to hand, and it was all this, fucking it. Whereas now some shops have got them and they'll give you them, won't they? Whereas remember at the start it was mad, wasn't it?
Well, the Tesco by me is like if you haven't got a mask, ask for one. They'll give you a mask. Yeah. So people can't moan that you can't. If you can't not do your shopping in 10 minutes time with a mask on, well, we're knackered, aren't we? So
no.
I know a lot of people just seem to be they seem to struggle, don't they? They put a mask on and they just drop dead on the floor through lack of oxygen. And some of these people MMA, you know what I mean? It's incredible. A lot of MMA fighters seem to struggle with a mask on them, so it's bonkers. And a lot of them seem to be medical professionals, but it's a slippery slope.
Yeah, that and alcohol gel has got to be up there, isn't it?
Yeah, alcohol gel. Remember, like it was like £4, £5 for like little Cairns things, and I go to Home & Bargain, it's like 50p.
Have you noticed? Was this me, right? Or I don't. I gonna sound like a weirdo, I don't know, but start of lockdown, alcohol gel seemed very alcohol jelly, and now I think it's got like watered down. I just think, sometimes you get alcohol gel, it's like water, and it takes forever to dry, and then other times it's quite like gel, and it's gone in. And I think there's someone scrimping on alcohol gel there, and just adding water.
I think we're so used to battering it now that now you can tell the grade of gel. You got like a sommelier going, no, this is not good hand gel. This is
too much. This
is a 2008 Tesco phone.
Right, I've just for I don't mean to be a bit weird and type in some stats here, right? But I've got some stats up here. So during the height of the pandemic, right? So the whole since now, Amazon has added $401 billion to their business. So that's incredible. That should be the business that
well, all I think there's something like 1,000 or something billionaires around the world, and they added something like X amount of billion to their wealth. Like if you're a billionaire already, you've done well, basically.
Yeah. That, you know what pisses me off about the entire Amazon thing is that it's such a necessary evil because everyone uses it. It's like, and they treat the staff like shit. They pay them shit money. They're like pissing in bottles because they don't get enough time to go to the toilet. You know, they've got to do so many like deliveries all the time, like running around warehouses, walking like 25 miles a day because they do that much. And I think if they realised how much power they had, if they all could just get together and go, we've got these by the balls here. Robots can't do this yet. If we stop, you know, everything stops. I just wish. I think there was a warehouse in Germany that just said, you know what, sod this, and down tools, and I think they got what they were after. But I wish they all would, because those people rely on those people.
It's like there was like the guy who done the, you know, what's that program on the Netflix documentary about social media? What was that called? The
Social Dilemma.
Yeah. So one of the guys on the back of that one on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he was saying that they've done an experiment, and it's like, it's a little bit like that argument there, Chris, you said about Amazon. It's not enough for one person to say, that's it, I'm not going to use social media now, or I'm not going to use Amazon. You need a collective to come together and say, I'm not using it. Because, you know, you take someone on Amazon, you go, well, I'm not going to, you know, this is stupid. Someone else will just jump in. Whereas like on social media, if you say, you know what, if a kid goes into school, you know, a 16-year-old kid, and he says, you know what, I'm getting addicted to my phone, I'm going to come off social media, he'll then feel like he's missing out because all of his mates are on social media. So it's like you need everyone to come together and go, right, we're all going to give it a miss. Otherwise, it's too powerful, isn't it? It's just, like you said, it's a necessary evil.
It's that strength in numbers thing, isn't it? Once people realise that, you know, if we can all just get together, he's got a cop on now. You can see the ghost. Just growls at nothing sometimes. It freaks me out. I think, what are you growling at? I just think if people just got together, and just realised how much power they had, you know, I think the world would be a better place, but we're all just too busy just kind of, you know, doffing our caps and tugging our forelocks. So, yes, sir, thanks for this. Shush now.
I tell you what, the other business on here was Microsoft added 201 billion to their business. Big part of that was Microsoft Teams, with everyone doing stuff like this. And Apple was third, I think, as well. It's all tech companies,
I was going to say, Chris, you want to be careful about inciting people to come together. Otherwise, we'll have what we had last night in America. You asking people to come together.
But you know what pissed me off about that is that it wasn't even that many people, was it? It wasn't really. I mean, it looked like a lot of people, but it was like you could fit all those people in St. John's Centre, couldn't you? It wasn't like it was like a 1 million man march. There was like, you know, hundreds of people, and they just let them in, didn't they?
Yeah.
They were supposed to have the coppers going, there you go, just walk in, moving like ropes for them and like helping people downstairs. I'm like, one person got shot. I was impressed with that. One person, and it's sad, but that fact that only one person they stormed the capital of that country, Congress.
Yeah.
One person.
I think that more than for me anyway, personally, I thought that highlighted the racial injustice and the racism that goes on in the States more than anything else. Because I'm sitting there just watching, and I thought there was a couple of black people maybe in the crowd, but a majority of, you know, were white people.
Oh, mate.
Like you just say, just walking in there and fuck all happened.
With Confederate flags.
Yeah.
Confederate flags walking through with Auschwitz t-shirts on and with weapons, just walked in.
Mad.
It's such a mad place, America.
If all those people were black, that would have been a massacre.
Oh yeah. Imagine, and I just kept on thinking, what are Muslim terrorists like? As in, what are like Muslims who are getting branded all the time as terrorists? What are like, you know, if you're a Muslim living in the States, they get. The problem with racism anyway in America is that a lot of these people feel that they're looked upon as terrorists anyway, just for the pure fact that they're of a certain colour and are practicing Muslims. I was thinking, you must be sitting there thinking, God, we would have all been hung, drawn and quartered by now. And yet they're sitting there, as well as maybe black people are sitting there thinking, wow, is anyone going to stop them?
If they all just whited up, they could have just walked in, couldn't they? You know, if they just put a lot of trackies on, got some like put a mullet on and a Confederate flag, they could have walked in rather than like, you know, flying planes into buildings and trying to like sneak stuff into these high security places. Those people walked in.
That's what terrorists need to maybe do now. Just walk in with Confederate flags and, you know, maybe you know, make America great again, and they'll get
an American flags. Yeah.
Wear your MAGA hat. You know, get your Trump balloon. You're walking in, aren't you?
Yeah, and I mean, at first it was kind of like, it felt like I was watching Die Hard or something. It felt like prime time TV. I was like, this is mental, this. And then it was only later on the night, and I saw kind of a few people tweeting about it. And then that's when I thought about the racial injustice side of it. And I thought, this is mad. This, like, how is, you know, I felt weirdly more sorry for black people almost after watching that than I did almost in the summer.
Well, it just shows you how you can abuse the police by not only using the police, but you can abuse it by just not using the police. If we just said, listen, lads, I'll have 6 coppers there, don't stop them, let them do what they want, because this is what I want. And like when that Black Lives Matter stuff was going on, they were protecting the statues. You know, there was like, they put thousands of people around statues, but when they were like going, oh, this is a load of white people want to go to Congress and moan about something that was happily ended as that would help his agenda, he was like, nah, just swerve them, just do, you know, better security and home and bargain, you know what I mean? That cardboard copper, you know what I mean? It's a deterrent than what he was, so.
One of the craziest bits from last night was when Biden come out and said, look, you know, I'm calling on the president to come out and, you know, stop these, basically, you know. And Trump come out, and before he actually said, you know, go home, he had a 2-minute rant about how it'd been stolen from them, the election was false, and I'm like, you're kind of defeating the object here. Just don't say any of that and just say, go home, please. And he had to kind of get his 10 pence worth in and back himself up and build his ego up, and he, you know, just won't back down from this. The election was fraudulent, and when he did finally say, everyone please go home, it was a bit, I was like, it doesn't matter what you say now, you've already carried on banging the drum.
The horse has bolted at that point, hasn't it? He's gone on about going, listen, lads, we've all had a drink. We've all had a, you know, and that guy turned up in his Viking outfit and his top off with his face painted. I was thinking, what's he like in work? What's that fella like in work today when he walks in? You go, hell, Keith, what were you thinking there, mate? He goes, oh, mate, I'd gone straight from, you know, a game. Do you reckon it's like one of those like stag do's when they all say we're all wearing fancy dress, and then you don't tell him, and he's the only one who turned up in fancy dress, and he stood there going, why am I the only one with the Viking horns on?
Mate, he was wearing it proudly, wasn't he? He was so happy with himself.
He got a photo, didn't he? Right at the I don't know the name of the thing, but right in the middle where whoever judge or whoever stands. I mean, fair play to the geezer how he managed to get in there with those horns on.
Yeah.
What was stopping them? That's the mad thing. You know, they were just going on. It was mad.
And then Trump's been banned, hasn't he, off Facebook and all that jazz? Yeah. And
indefinitely banned from Facebook and Twitter. I don't know how long he's going to be off.
Oh, I thought it was only for 14 days. Is it the full?
Facebook said he's indefinitely banned, but I'm sure there might be an egg on that. But Twitter, I mean, I got banned for 2 weeks of calling what's her name, Jimmy Savile, a nonce about 8 years ago for like 2 weeks, and I was right.
You know, did you actually get banned? Did you get before you got found out? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember making a joke about saying, I think it was talking about like the day Jimmy Savile dies, a lot of these kids will kind of wander out these houses like Chilean miners with their eyes squinted, waiting for them to go, and it was just like a bad, pretty tasteful joke. And that was like, you know, he wasn't even confirmed that he wasn't on to that point, but we think we all pretty much knew, you know, he obviously wasn't. But I got like a 2 week ban.
When I used to go to uni in Leeds, he was from Leeds, and they had like the brigade or whatever. I went I can't remember the name of the hotel, big hotel in Leeds, Queen's Hotel, I think it is. They put his coffin there, and just as I was coming back from uni, I went in and signed the book. It was so strange thinking about like taking photos. I had fucking no idea. Like, it's so strange.
Say what?
Like a book, you know, like if someone dies, you're writing a book. Because everyone was saying that he was. I had literally no idea of obviously the scale of like I was.
Hang on, Sam, you're playing this over a bit too much. Yeah, so you went and signed the book of condolences for the nonce.
Yeah.
Wow.
No one fucking knew, did they? Do you know what I mean? No one knew.
This knew.
Well, Chris did, yeah.
So why did you mean that?
That was just speculation, you know. But it was an educated guess, wasn't it? You know, it's not like we look at Rolf Harris. No one knew really that we were all in the class.
Yeah.
But I've never signed someone's book that I didn't know them.
Mate, it was like a mate, you're a student, you've got fuck all else to do, haven't you? You know what I mean? You go to university for 10 hours a week. There's nothing else to do, is there?
What?
Yeah.
Didn't they like? Definitely like took his grave thrown away now, and he's just got like some unmarked grave, and it's
Yeah.
just,
I mean, the most embarrassing thing how I'm connected to Jimmy Savile is
I'm going to clip that.
in the Rome Marines. He's obviously raised a lot of money, hadn't he, for charity? And the Rome Marines made him an honorary Marine, gave him a green beret. And one of the when you pass out in the Rome Marines, you go and have your celebrations. There was a room called the Savile
gonna
room.
pass out next to Jimmy Savile, do you? Oh, the goodie.
Made the passing out ceremony, you do all that, and then all your friends and family waiting in the bar, and there was this huge big thing above the fireplace of Jimmy Savile, and it was called the Savile Room, and obviously they had to take it down. And there's like, you know, when you have a picture hung up and it's like for ages, and it's maybe the wallpaper's gone a different colour or something, you know, there was just this huge big square of where this huge portrait of Jimmy Savile used to be. I don't
Really,
even know.
Insane.
Obviously not dead now, is it now?
What's funny, I went to it, I can't say who it is, but I went to a client of ours in Germany, and on the back of the door where, you know, the Nazis obviously had the triangle thing, there was like the eagle you could still make out of where it was. They hadn't bothered to paint over anything. Madness.
Really, after all that time, you still hadn't painted over Nazi paraphernalia.
Yeah.
The Germans are known for the deficiency as well, aren't they? That's he's letting the side down there, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know, obviously a lot of them let the side down, but that's pretty poor, isn't it?
Some more than others, yeah.
Yeah.
How was your Christmas, Chris?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. You know, because mum and dad live in the same street we live in the same street as they do, and so we all had tests basically like the 2 days before. We didn't go out or not, and waited for the tests to come in, which is like came through dead quick because I must have had like 10 tests in between, you know, the last month or so. So we just had Christmas together because we were kind of like in that kind of little, even though you were allowed to do it, but after mum and dad aren't getting any younger. So we had like dinner and theirs, and we had like normal Christmas, but the rest of the family and stuff, I just kind of passed stuff in, didn't go in anyone's house and stuff, and just tried to behave ourselves really. But it was nice. I got some good stuff. I made out like a bandit this year, so. I made out like a bandit. I got a PlayStation 5. I got a.
You got PS5, yeah.
Yeah. My mate got me a PlayStation 5. It was
Fucking
devastating. Hell. Yeah, PlayStation 5. You know what? I got him a machine that shaves your balls. I got him a manscaper.
Manscape, yeah.
You said I always noticed in his bathroom that he always had like these like his old razors that he used to shave his bits with. So I thought, you know what, I'll get him one of those things because I've heard I've heard on podcasts actually saying get a manscaper. It shaves you, you know, saves you nicking yourself, and it's all designed for you know, ergonomically for your knackers and your from tip to taint.
The marketing thing is if you nip your sack or your money back.
Oh really? Yeah. That's a good line. So I thought, you know, I'll get him one of them, perfect gift. And then I got him all the gear to go with. I got him all like the talc and the gel and everything. And then he gave me this big box, and I thought, oh God, what's this? And he does work for Sony, and he's quite high up. And I thought, this better be, you know, not. And it was a PlayStation 5, and I really wanted one, and I was made up. But when you've bought someone at a ball shaver,
Yeah.
I think you get a PlayStation 5.
What did people actually do? Like before Manscaped, and there's a few other brands. Like I'll be completely honest here. I've never been into shaving down there big style.
Do you think I've just got a big wild bush?
No, but I've just fucking used like the. I just never it's never been it's never up there in the priorities, you know.
So what do?
You're a particularly hair-astute man anyway, Tom, or?
Yeah, I don't have that much. I don't have that much hair, to be honest. I mean, I don't look like a fucking 14-year-old boy, but.
Well, I don't. So what do you do? You're not letting this go. So what do you do then?
Well, now that all this Manscaped shit's come around, it's not a Manscaped. It's something else. I can't remember the name of it. I've got something else, but it's like it just literally looks like a beard trimmer, but it's not a beard trimmer.
I just use a beard trimmer.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I get my beard. I don't do my own beard. My mate Adam, my barber, does my beard. So I just use what I used to use as a beard trimmer but I shave everything on my chest, my stomach. I'm quite hairy.
Yeah, I'm hairy. I've got a back blade and everything. A back blade. I've got shaved my own back. I'm just hairy. The only hair I haven't got on is the hair actually where I want it to be. Is on my head. It's so frustrating that the only place I haven't got hair is the one place that I want to get it.
Hey, you're not
It's just,
off that I'm suggesting, Chris. Would you ever go and get a transplant? I've got a few mates now who've been over to Turkey and got one, you know.
any good?
Yeah, look really good.
Get my teeth done as well while I'm there.
I know a few people have got the teeth done. No, but yeah, no, my mate's hair looks really good. To the point where when I saw him, when you could, you know, see each other or whatever it was before Christmas or November, whatever time, I got in a taxi with him and I didn't even know it. I was like, fucking hell. Like he said something or someone else said something to him and I hadn't even mentioned it. He looks really good, yeah.
I think if it got to the point where isn't that the one to take the hair off the back of your head and then you put it on the top, or is that like I think that's because I've got a mate who got like he was receding a bit, whereas mine's basically gone now. But
This lad was receding a bit.
Yeah, he went over and he got it, and it looks boss. But I think I'm past that point of no return now. The PONR of hair. So if there was a tablet, if there was like a tablet or like there was like a surgery, they just went out, you just did it, and it was. I mean, obviously you've got to the point, but I think I'm past the point of being an arse now. But if there was like a tablet you could take, no side effects, and it gave you the head of hair, I'd do it.
I remember when I went to I got it waxed once, and so funny. I went and got it done, and I said I want to get my chest waxed. So I went there, paid however much it was, and she just done like literally to me like from to there, and I got like quite a hairy belly, and she just done that bit, and I was like, you're not gonna do me belly as well? And she was like, oh, that's extra. And I was like,
really?
I will, yeah. I was like, I will pay extra because you left me with a hairy belly and a cleanly shaven chest. I was like, clean. Like this. And
it's got to scam that. They can't just do one bit and then just. It's like doing one eyebrow. Go to come back. The other eyebrow's extra.
But the worst bit about it was the day before I was going on holiday. I was going to the Dominican Republic and come out in such a rash, and I was horrible. Like the first few days, it was just like all like this spotty rash that was. So
I remember getting my back waxed the first time. It was in my mid-20s. Went away with the lad years ago, and I didn't realise that how spotty it goes once you pull it out by the root. And I thought, you know what? The spots look worse than the hair.
Yeah, I just
it looked like a peach.
Yeah, shave it with your shaver, and then get a bit and just keep on top of it. Then.
Yeah, it's brutal. You get to that age where like I've got like hairy back, and you keep constantly maintaining your ear hair. You get like a random hair growing out your nose now. You think, remember you're little, you see those old men with like weird hairs growing out their ears and nose. You think, if you let that go, mate, and then next thing you know, you're looking in the mirror going, hang on, I've got like a hair that long hanging out your ear. You think it's that big, looks like you could light it and your head to blow up like a bomb. Yeah,
it's weird, isn't it? Yeah, I remember a teacher having that and thinking, like, sort yourself out.
Yeah,
but
mate, I got a unibrow. I have to keep plucking it, but I used to shave it when I was in school to the point where I had a hair coming out my nose there, like a long hair, but it was there.
Yeah. So have you got monobrow? Yeah.
Yeah, if I don't keep
you don't shave it, yeah.
Yeah.
If I don't keep on top of this, I've basically got one eyebrow.
Same.
It's just like a moustache going across my eyes.
Chris, have you ever done it? Have you ever left it?
Well, when I was like in my teenage years, I just wasn't asked. So I used to get stick school about it, but obviously you get to an age, you think, I need to sort this out. Because mine is literally like that, but in the middle.
Same.
Like
is that bad? Is that bad? Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's one eyebrow. It's literally one eyebrow, and I just keep on top of it now. I think my missus did it years ago, and she said, "Listen, just let me do it," and then I just kept on top of it ever since. I need to go into a coma. If I woke up after a coma 6 months, I'd have just hair at the sides and one big eyebrow and a big hairy back.
And I always remember in school, getting ripped for it and stuff, and then someone said, "Why don't you just shave it?" And I said, "If you shave it, it grows back worse." And he went, "Okay," and then shave it again. And I was like, "Yeah, okay, probably should start doing that." And then that was it then. Just kept on top of it.
Yeah, I remember people in school like just shaving eyebrows and then just like trying to alter it to the point that it just messed in the end. They just had two little eyebrows in the middle. Just looked startled constantly.
School could be brutal, couldn't it? For like, if you had something, if you didn't look, don't know, the way you're meant to look, if there is a way. But like, God, I a skinhead, you know, big fat head, big ears, big eyebrow, spotty. I had, you know, I was.
If it's like if you transferred that what kids say to kids and transferred it into like a big corporate office of where just people said whatever they thought like that, like it's just chaos, isn't it? Like it's just.
You look back when you were a kid and the stuff you said and you did to people, and you think it was just so cruel, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You look back and you just shudder. You just think, oh my God, it's just
You
horrible.
know one word I always used to say, and it's obviously wrong to say, especially now more than ever in this like PC world, but PC or not, it's wrong to say, but it just used to slip off the tongue so much. Was not that there's nothing wrong with it either, with being this, but gay.
Yeah.
Everyone gay, gay that.
Yeah.
Okay. You're gay. That's gay. This is all gay. Okay. Yeah. It was such a slur. It was because it was at the time. It was just like the most insulting thing you could be, wasn't it? You get like a load of lads together.
Yeah.
But wasn't the rebuttal to that gay means that you're happy?
Yeah.
So when you are, at least
no one ever said that in my school, Tom.
Oh, no, they didn't, mate.
You had that one ready, Tom, didn't you?
No, there's a guy at our school. Obviously, you know, it wasn't like an inner city school or anything, but not that there's anything wrong with that. But that there was a guy who was like so switched on, and he just works like he could have been anything, and he just works at like a corner store in a town near us, and like honestly, he was the most switched on guy when it comes to maths. Like basically, got like when the sort of like gauge of success when you're sort of 15, 16 is like what you got in your GCSEs, isn't it? And that's like the litmus test in terms of what you're going to become when you're older. And he got everything, like literally like 11 A stars. And then, but he got picked on so badly. And just like you said before, Chris, some of the stuff that you think people have said, you think, why would you why would you ever say something like that? It's just awful, you know?
Yeah.
Some kids get fucking like it's just fucking hell for them.
I think it depends on, doesn't it, though, on how it's taken. I mean, I used to get ripped and stuff in school, but I mean, I was kind of quite popular. I had like mates and kind of hung around, but I still got ripped. I still got like absolutely abused, but it was, I could give it back a bit, and it was all cool. I think there's a difference when it's like that, and I didn't mind it, to when it's bullying and someone doesn't come back. You know, there's a big difference then, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean that's this like say giving out and taking it like as banter, as they say. They don't banter. We just give each other shit.
Yeah.
Whereas there's some kids who just didn't give back. They just took it to the point that they probably end up with a sniper rifle on a bell tower somewhere one day. They just fucking. There used to be a lad. I won't say his name, but we used to get like polos and like put them in our armpits and the cracks of our arse, and then say to him, "Do you want a sweet?" And he'd go, "Yeah." And every day we'd take it and we'd say, "It's been up our arse." And then the next day we'd offer him again and he'd take it back. I was like, "Why do you keep taking them, mate?" I literally put a polo in my foreskin, put it back in the pack and gave it to him. We were saying, ooh, sweaty polo. And he'd take polo off every day. Because he took it every day, we were like, stop doing it. And you think back, you think, what a shitty trick to do to someone. But at the time when you're 14, it's hilarious, isn't it? But now you think back, I used to put a polo up my arsehole, put it back in the pack, and then offer it to him. And then he got onto it, then he'd take the second polo. So we just started putting like several polos up our arse. So he'd take the several polos at the top so we can just sing the Sweaty Polo song.
Oh, the Sweaty Polo song.
It's funny when you're 14 and here I am at 32 still laughing at it.
Yeah.
Imagine if that happened like at a call center. Like there's a group of guys who it just fucking doesn't happen, does it?
Yeah.
Like a workplace.
Imagine that. What happened there, Tom? Well, I got a polo, I stuck it up my arse, then I gave it to Keith. And Keith got a problem with that. Yeah, I mean, Tom, you sacked me. You know.
Yeah. All becomes a lot real when you've got mortgages to pay, though, doesn't it?
When you go to your next job and it was a reason for leaving your last job, I kept on singing the Sweaty Polo song after one.
I put a polo on my bell end and offered it to a colleague. To
be fair,
it was in the pack. I'm not a weirdo. I took it off my bell end.
To be fair, I think I put a tweet out. You just reminded of the amount of Christmas parties that would have happened this year. That stuff did not happen at all. Because obviously Christmas parties. Like, I think I put something out along the lines of like someone wouldn't shag someone, and then like Keith wouldn't own up to have a Colombian marching powder problem, and just the crazy stuff that happens at Christmas parties. Like
a lot of unphotocopied arses this year, isn't there?
I get sometimes probably jealous is too far, Tom, but like a bit envious of what your maybe office life is like, or Christmas party, because I've never been in an office. I've never had an office Christmas party, and you know, sometimes you can imagine these corporate worlds and what it's like in the office parties and stuff like that, and the rumour mill and all this. And is it maybe as exciting as I'm thinking it is, Tom, or is it?
Well, I mean, the place I work at is small business, so it's not as corporate as. But the thing is about a small business is that you can get away with a lot more than you ever would do at a big corporate. We don't really have that like crazy Christmas parties as such, but I mean, I'd never say on here, but some of the stuff that people get away with is just that people know of it. Like it's just madness. And in Christmas parties, like exacerbate it, because you put a room together of people that don't really want to be together, and throw alcohol and maybe occasionally drugs in there, then it's just a mixture of just like craziness, you know.
That's what I always find fascinating, though, you know, when I go into these corporate worlds and stuff, and it's like, when I joined the Marines, that we were all like-minded individuals, all of a similar age, all from similar backgrounds, who all wanted to do a certain job, and that was it. I think when you're working in your place, you could be from anywhere, you know, male, female. I mean, straight away, the dynamic's different in the Marines. It was just all men. Straight away, you're throwing females into the equation, makes it different. And then again, yeah, some people...
Is there female Marines now? Is there that mix with the men? Is there now?
They've allowed it, as in, like they've said, women can start applying. Whether anyone's passed out yet, I don't think so. But I know there are certain recruits, yeah. But even still, I mean, there's rumours that the recruits are going through who are female are getting different treatments. And, you know, there's rumours about going around it. I mean, I'm speaking, this is all rumours, I don't know. But the point I'm making is it's a recipe for disaster by, in my opinion, throwing a woman into something like the Marines, where it's been going for over 350 years. And it's not against women. No, there's millions of women out there who are fitter and stronger than me. I've got no problem with being beat by a woman in anything. It's just the dynamics of an elite military organisation just changes so much. And I think it was done purely for political correctness. And it's just like, you know, you have 50 fellas in a room, you throw a woman in the room, the dynamics change straight away. You know, you'll get the guy who's snaking into it. Maybe I don't know. There's just so many things changing. So I've never experienced like an office dynamic of, you know, Karen from accounting fancies, you know, John from whatever sales, and I've never experienced anything like that. Do you know what I mean? I always think it is maybe as funny as it potentially could be.
You know what Karen's like? She's a slag. You know, get a few drinks down her, you know, she's anyone's, isn't she? So
that is the good thing about Christmas parties, though. Those sort of like that, what you've just said, like Steve, like if Sandra from accounting, and you know, just like slags off someone out, you know, like all that shit just comes out at Christmas parties. I remember when there was I used to work for a very, very small firm in London, and they had some big name consultancy firm who were there as well. And I'll be honest with you, I've never seen more people in my life doing cocaine in my life. Like it one place, like it was just crazy. But that all that sort of stuff happens at Christmas parties, like people shagging and just and then people have it going off at each other, and
yeah, I think there's got to be a lot of ramifications for those things. You know, is there any kind of fallout from stuff like that? Because I've never worked in an office or not, so.
What's it like on the Monday morning?
Mate, it's like any Monday morning where you've had a heavy weekend. You feel like a little bit like, it's like any night out, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's like anywhere where you go, shit, what did I say? Did I say something? Did I overstep the line? Or you know, those sort of things. So, but I mean,
when you go out with your mates, you can laugh that off. But when you work with someone and then you've done something terrible, you got to go back into work and go, yeah. Cairns there winking at you.
In the Marines, it was just like you were together all the time anyway. You went on the piss most weekends anyway. So any kind of Christmas night out was just a normal night anyway. So there was never really anything different that went on that you didn't know already. Do you know what I mean?
But I imagine if you're in the Marines, you have to do some. I mean, maybe not. You have to do something pretty fucking bad to get like even fight. I mean, if you say I was in the Marines, right, and you were there on a Christmas day. If I for some reason had an issue with you and I decided you fucking punch.
No one gave a fuck. No.
Yeah, no one gave a fuck. Whereas that in a workplace, it's different, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? If I was fighting with Steve from operations, then it's probably a little bit different. Yeah.
Steve, Adam, what a pair they are.
Yeah. No, I do. It might sound weird. I do. I find it fascinating to know like work dynamics. You know, like you watch like The Office with Ricky Gervais and stuff like that. And I always think, is that yeah.
It's just like it's like any business. Anyone who listens to this who works in a business, you throw 50, 100 people who've got. You know, they don't interview people on what you've got in common with the other people, the other employees.
Yeah, that's my point I'm making about the Marines.
Yeah.
Like everyone's into fitness, everyone's into doing a certain like.
I mean, is it possible to offend the Marine?
No.
What can you say or do that Marines haven't said or done?
To each other or themselves.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you said before, Chris, about it does pose like quite a serious, discussion and debate about whether women should be allowed in the Marines. And I think the big thing, what everyone I spoke to who had an issue with it, is it just changes the culture, and it changes so much about. And no one's ever stating that women, couldn't do the job. There's questions over that whether they could or not. But I just mean, like, Marines are weird anyway. Like the weird breed. Like, there's a lot of nakedness in the Marines. You're talking about being gay. You think everyone was gay in the Marines. You're naked all the time with each other. You a few drinks in, and someone will call naked bar, and you all have to get naked, and you're all standing at the bar naked. It's like, you imagine throwing a woman in.
They have a drink and then say naked bar. You got to get naked.
Yeah.
So that's not the one gay fella going, come on. You're sitting there going, this is the best job I've ever had. It's like we're the place, isn't it? They leave you straight.
All those years getting called gay, and now I'm in my element.
Yeah.
By the way, is that any bar, or is that just a bar that you're all at?
Any bar it's meant to be, yeah. If you're going to be strict with it, yeah, any bar,
So what are they like? Go on, Chris, sorry.
How many times did that happen? You had to get naked?
A few times, and then it happened a few, and then after I got injured, then rules came in to do prosthetics count as clothing or not. So it was like naked bar, and you then had to like come to an agreement whether prosthetics stayed on or stayed off whilst naked bar was called.
And there's a class as clothes.
I've been in situations when it has classed and it hasn't. It just depends on what your amputation is, I guess, and how easy it is to just whip it off,
Yeah, but you can't just say your legs are clothes.
So stupid.
Oh mate, I've done like things like, so we'd have like we'd go drinking together, and it'd be like just silly drinking games. It'd be like right naked, and then I was in like a house once, and we're all sitting there naked, like 6 fellas from who like all essentially work together, sitting around naked. And then I was there, and it was like pissing in pairs. So you could only go to the toilet when you go with your partner. So imagine, so you throw a woman into that, and it's like, one, she either has to exclude herself and can't join in the drinking and the getting to know each other. Which a lot of, you go to war together, you want to be able to chill and drink together as well. And a lot of those relationships are born in these drunken naked moments, So the woman's got a choice. She either doesn't want to get involved in any of the nakedness and any of the drinking and stuff.
What if you're in the middle of war and someone shouts naked war? Like you're towards the Taliban with a fucking an automatic and a semi on. You got a semi-automatic and a semi on. Here's AK-47.
When I was in Iraq, we actually had a fancy dress party, which I think at one point in the night turned into a naked bar. So in the middle of Iraq, I've cracked a naked bar as well, yeah.
So if you're in Liverpool and in Wetherspoons and someone calls naked bar.
Yeah, the difference is though, I know what you're thinking, that never happened in Liverpool, but it's not a military town, is it, as well? So I think Liverpool in general isn't used to having military lads there. I think a lot of military towns up and down the country.
I don't think we're going to be that arsed.
Yeah.
Have you seen the fucking motley crew that's drinking Wetherspoons?
Yeah.
I think all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like a serious thing then. So what you do if you're a woman then? Do you think, okay, I'll be one of the lads and I'll get me kit off as well and jump in with it? Or do you think, no, it's not for me? And fair enough if it's not for you, but that is a big part of the culture of the Marines, so it just creates so many more questions, I think, than it gives answers by letting women attempt to join.
So the big issue is not them fighting, it's whether you can play naked bar.
Well, I guess from a much higher leadership level, are they physically capable? Are they mentally tough enough? Probably those are the questions more so than do they want to get naked with us all in the evening? And yeah, listen, no doubt there are women who are strong physically and mentally robust. I've got no doubt about that. For me and a lot of people I spoke to, it was more just about it'll change the culture dramatically, and it'll change the fabric basically of who the Marines are.
Naked bar would be a lot more fun if women were involved, to be honest with you. I'm all for it. If they're willing to play naked bar, they're willing to,
you're willing to watch.
Yeah. I do understand they would 20 blokes and 20 girls, and with 20 blokes down there, there's nothing there for me. But there's 20 Marine, and they're going to be pretty fit as well, aren't they? Yeah. The Marine, they're not going to be like a load of heifers, are they? With a load of fucking swamp donkeys. Let them fight, I say, Andy. Let them in. Let them play naked bra.
I'm on a petition, I think. This I'll say. I've spoken to a few guys. I think actually, we need to look at this again. But
this can only make naked bar a much better game.
Yeah.
And if they can handle it, we can handle it. Not literally, but another good game.
There was a great story from just before I joined up. It was about 6 months, a year before I joined up, and someone had painted there's a BV. It's basically a vehicle as you go into camp at 4-5, and someone had come in, pissed and painted it. I think it was pink or yellow or something. Like I said, it happened just before I joined.
A BV? What's a BV?
It's like a vehicle, like a.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to explain.
So if someone had walked in, that would be the same as someone walking into the office and painting like the company car.
Yeah. If or I'm yeah, I don't know. Like you say, you walk in your office and there's a big I don't know. Yeah, something when you walk in and it's clear where you are.
Yeah.
And someone come in, pissed and painted it pink or yellow, something like that. And the next day, obviously, everyone knew what had happened, apparently. And they were like, whoever's, it's happened. Make sure it's back to the colour it was meant to be, like the next night, and no more will be said. I think that was the kind of, it was done. It wasn't like a big witch hunt. It was like, big boys rules, listen, I want it back sorted, and then that's that. Which I can't imagine again would be the same punishment if it was in your work, Tom.
No, there would be a witch hunt, and there'd be a full investigation, and email fucking trails would be going around, and
HR would be involved.
HR going, what, like who's done this?
What thoughts afterwards?
If there are any Marines listening to this podcast as well, any bootnecks, please message me or comment on this on this video. But there was also, I think it might have been the same lad, and I'm even thinking he possibly might have been killed in Afghan. And this same lad was a bit of a character. Apparently grabbed, he got the dog off, the CO had a dog, and had shaved 4-5 into the dog because it was 4-5 commando. And the dog, it's quite a fluffy dog walking around with 4-5 shaved into the dog. And you imagine doing that to your boss's dog, shaving like the company logo into his. So it's kind of like, big boy rules, I guess. Do you know what I mean? I think, and
the thing is, it's like if that was in an organized, like a big company, the attitude should be is like if you fuck something up, you're gonna pay for it, right? So if you damage something, then just pay for it. But it's that like there's a full there's a fucking full witch hunting organisation. Like, it's not like that easy. Do you know what I mean? Like, that would be if I come round to your house, Andy, and if I smash up your kitchen because I'm pissed, like the thing would be just, mate, you need to fucking pay for my kitchen.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
yeah.
organisation, it's not that fucking like you'd send emails out. There's fucking.
Yeah, no, this lad was known as a legend for painting this fucking BV van yellow. Do you know what I mean? He was like an absolute legend. But yeah, that's what was, you know, good about the Marines. It was like,
What was a fluffy dog doing in Iraq?
no, this was in Scotland.
Oh right.
Like the dog on camp, like, you know.
There's a dog on camp, yeah.
Well, yeah, that's your living quarters. So some lads have dogs, don't they? Some lads have pets.
You'd
Like
like
they bring-
pets, like,
Yeah.
that's all right, isn't it? Can they go with you when you go fighting the war and stuff? Just walking your dog past the Taliban. Right, Ahmed, just walking the dog. Pick up your shit.
What's that bomb? Pick up the shit.
Oh god.
Oh, we're at war, but we've got standards here. Pick up your dog shit. I was walking my dog the other day and I was picking up the dog shit. Obviously, I had a bag. I don't just do it. No bag. Some fella walked past me and went, "That's disgusting." I was like, "I know." What disgusting? Never leave it. You know, I wasn't even like outside his house. He was just walking past me in the park and went, "Oh, that's disgusting." I was like, "I know, mate, but
not what I can do about it."
If you said to me 40 years ago, you'd be picking shit up one day in a bag, I'd have laughed at you, but now that's the rule.
Yeah.
Remember, you could just leave dog shit, the good old days. I miss those days, but now you got to take it with you.
My dad was walking mine the other day, and he normally has poo bags with him. He walks my dog quite a lot, and he didn't. And I swear to God, right, my dog's trained. He won't shit on the road. He'll make sure he does a shit like in the park. Like it's mad how he normally always shits near a bin. It's great. Anyway, he's walking. My dad's walking him, and my dad didn't have any food bags with him, and the dog's done a shit outside someone's house while they're coming in, like you know, on the drive basically. And my dad's like, so he picked the shit up with a face mask. He had, you know, one of the blue face masks and was just picked it up with that. And he said,
face mask back on later on, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've done that before when I've been out and you see your little plastic bone full of bags and you think there's like 10 in it and there's like one, and then I've gone to win, the dog's crimped off this massive, like, you know, double bagger. You're waiting for a dog walk to walk past, you go, "This mate, you got a bag." He's crimped this one off and I need to sort it out because it looks like a bean bag. It's not worse when they just...
Chris, did you not have to pick up dog shit then in when you were younger then?
Back in the day.
Not back in the day. You could just leave it.
Just leave it. So there's dog shit everywhere.
There was, yeah.
Chris's house, just used back in the day, just Chris's road. They look like there've been loads of IEDs on Chris's road. Shit everywhere.
No one said, "Listen, we need to sort this out. This is a bit of a problem here."
I don't know what point we got to when people start saying, "Listen, lads, we need to start picking up dog shit in little bags." I don't know. I can't remember when that became a thing, but now it's just obviously the norm. I mean, I know exactly when my dog's going to have shit. I know exactly where they're going to do it because now I'm in such a routine that our Marty has a shit when we get to the bottom of our road in the same place every day. Then when I approach the park hard, Rodney, he decides that's his little speck by the off Lark Lane. Every day, same place.
Just off Lark Lane.
Yeah. Right by the library. He goes, "Yeah, this is my little shit spot." Every now and again, he will throw a little curveball in, but I always make sure I've got at least 6 bags because there will be at least 4 every day. My missus is going, "I want to get another dog." Like, well, we're not getting another dog, look, because I pick up 4 shit today, 365 days a year, you know, times that, but 365 by 4, that's about, you know, it's over nearly 1,500 shits. We're not getting another dog because we have to put that up by a third. I want a rescue dog. Like, well, when you pick up all the shit, love, we can get a rescue dog.
You know, on that point, made me quite sad. And actually, I retweeted it, and someone tweeted me back a vet, which made me even more pissed off. But you know, the first lockdown, everyone wanted to get a dog, and prices for dogs actually went up. It was impossible to get a dog. Now, the homes again, the shelters are full of them. So people have just had them, you know, for 6 months and thought, "Oh, I can't do this," and give them back. And I retweeted it and said, you know, something like, oh, who would have thought this coming? You know, who didn't see this coming, sarcastically. And then a vet tweeted me and said, I've been a vet for 30 years and I've never hated people more than I do now, just because of obviously what she's seen. And it winds me up, that animal cruelty and just people not being responsible for animals. It pisses me off big time.
I think sometimes when you make a joke like that, people can like have a go at you, even though you're obviously taking the piss, you know. So there's a great joke the other day. A mate of mine, Bethany Black, she did it. There was a very serious tweet from like someone in America saying like a toddler shoots someone every day. You know, that's the statistic. Every day a toddler shoots like an adult and kills them every day. And then she put as a joke, why don't they just take the gun off them? It's a great joke, but then they reply going, "This is not funny." Like, yeah, but the fucking joke is, you know, the joke's very funny.
If that, aside from the joke, if that stat is true, that's fucking insane. That
a kid,
just one
like shoots an adult every day. Like a toddler just goes, "Oh, look at this Nerf gun! Hi, Nan, bang,
bang,
yeah." That's because every knobhead's got a gun, and every knobhead can have a gun.
Mate, there's honestly some of the videos that I hate to watch. Some of the videos that occasionally pop up on Twitter, and it's sometimes about like dogs and stuff like that. And a lot of the times it's in China. I've seen some mad shit in China, in cages, and honestly, like for the meat and it's just fun. Honestly, I would rather. It sounds so strange, and it might be a bit. But I'd rather see something done towards a human than I would a dog.
I would. Oh, I'll watch a car crash and like a horrific thing that gets sent to me on WhatsApp groups all day. As long as it's not kids or pets, I can watch it. If it's some bloke getting crushed by a fridge, getting dropped off a building, you know, I'll you know, I'll laugh at that all day. You know, I hope my death is hilarious enough to become a WhatsApp, you know, forwarded many times. You know, as a you know a fall out to Tower restaurants because the window paved, you know, gave through. But when it's a pet, when it's a dog or a, you know, any kind of animal suffering, you can't watch it, can you? But when it's some knobhead, being a knobhead,
you're looking down at me when I'm standing in the pub with a pint in my hand and your death video going, "Hey lad, have you seen this one? Hey, it's me mate this."
This is what he wanted. Yeah. This is the way he wanted to go. Hilarious.
Oh, mate. Are you a mate who's dead? Yeah, he died doing this. What? Yeah, he wanted me to show everyone, yeah.
Have you ever seen some of the hospital ones where they come in and for some reason, someone's got the smartphone out, like the camera, and you're thinking, who's recording that? And it's some geezer who's got who's tried to commit suicide and he's landed on a pole or some mad shit like that. It's just, who records it?
Well, that woman who got shot in that Capitol thing the other day, someone sent me a video of that, of her getting shot, and there's 10 people filming it. Because they're all filming themselves doing it, because they're not doing it for nothing, are they? They want infamy, they want to get noticed and stuff. But like that happened yesterday, and now like there's a video of her getting shot dead.
Mate, do you remember the New Zealand terrorist attack where that guy went to all the mosques and stuff like that? That video of him with his like GoPro on his shoulder, when WhatsApp actually had to step in, and they had some algorithm that could detect that video because it just went I watched that video. It was fucking awful.
He put it on live stream on YouTube, didn't he?
Yeah. Some of the stuff that gets shared, like WhatsApp is like the underground of like the WhatsApp group video, like, and stuff that gets shared in groups. It's fucking awful.
I'm in a WhatsApp group with my hardcore group of friends of like 30 odd years. And if you could share that WhatsApp group, we would all get sacked. We would never because the comments and the videos that we've been sent and received and sent on again and joked about would just be perceived as monsters. And it is that type of gallows humor, and you joke about things. That's how I tend to cope with terrible things, with like you know, making jokes out of things. But I think you'd want to see their WhatsApp group like getting out there, you know.
Such a good point, yeah.
Oh mate, it'd be horrible.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that you send and you say, it's not like kind of, it's not you. It is you sending it, but I mean, it's like you say, it's just this weird kind of world that WhatsApp created, isn't it? Where you can just share weird and wonderful and horrible stuff, and that's it. It's just you. And then, but again, it'd be scary to think if all your messages and the videos you'd sent had gone on.
If my WhatsApp like timeline went out to like a particular group of friends, it'd be finished. You know, like you said, it's just brutal. But you're only joking. It's not like you're not like he's coming out with like terrible things, but you're joking about terrible things that have happened. You're not obviously doing them, but it's it is one of those things, isn't it? You just kind of.
Can you actually get prosecuted for making a joke? Like, can they class whatever you said as a joke?
Like a hate crime type thing, or like.
Well, yeah. So, like, if you'd, I suppose, where do they draw the line? Like, do they draw the line at? I think this country's different than the US, isn't it? The US is a lot more free speech than the UK, doesn't it? In terms of what you can actually say.
That's the thing in America, isn't it? There is free speech. You're free to say what you want. You're just not free from the ramifications of what you're saying. You know, if you say to people, you're allowed to say, "I hate Jews," but then if you go to work and your boss, Mr. Leibowitz, says to you, "Listen, Keith, it's time to go, mate," you know, because you can say that, mate, but it doesn't mean I've got to hire you anymore. It doesn't mean you're protected, you know, from every ramification of saying that. You can say it. You can say it all day. You just can't get away with it, which is obviously, you know, I think is right, really. So you can say it, not going to, you know, get away with everything. You know, should you be able to get away with everything you say? Otherwise, it'd be chaos, wouldn't it? There'd be no civility. So.
Yeah, I suppose it's just a case of there's a really good Channel 4 documentary at the moment, and this woman, it's like 24 hours in police custody or whatever, and she'd said that. So basically, there was a recording of her saying that she wanted to kill her husband. I mean, so it's like, can you class that as a joke? Like, because the amount of people who probably said in life, "Oh, I'd love to kill," not maybe kill someone, but or someone
going, "Oh, fucking gosh, gotta kill it."
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, so like, how do you actually draw the line of where someone can actually say?
John Bishop had one, didn't he? Where he was like, "You don't." He's something like years ago. He said like he had a line, and he was like, "You know, you've never been married or you've never been in love until." You know, your wife's breathing pisses you off. And you sit there and you just like, now that could be of like, you know, I want to stop my wife breathing. You could, surely that can't be.
Yeah, I think it's when a lot of these ones when they say I want to kill them, and then they've like tentatively put out like, you know, feelers to get a hitman to kill the husband. That's when you've had it, haven't you?
Yeah, of course. But you can't get but if you and you would never say this, Chris, but like you mentioned before, like if you said I hate Jews or I'm glad the Holocaust happened, like you can't get arrested, you can't get punished, you can't get locked up for that, can you?
Probably can't lock me up for it, but imagine if I said that and then a comedy club said, "Listen, mate, we're not going to use you no more." I go, "Why?" Because you said this terrible thing, and I go, "All right, well, fair enough." It doesn't mean that the ramifications of me saying that. I mean, I've said it and I can say it. Doesn't mean that people have to like it and they have to use me anymore because.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
If you say despicable things, you're going to get treated despicably, aren't you? This is why you don't say those despicable things, because you want to be treated, and obviously you don't feel those things. So you should, if you want to say those things, you know, say them, mate. We'll see how far you get on in life. You know,
I always think about Frankie Boyle, and I always thought Frankie Boyle was very like, I quite like Frankie Boyle.
I love him. Yeah.
I some of the stuff that you think sometimes could that ever be like, is the line?
He's a perfect example what Chris has just said. You know, we never got charged, but you know, he got fucked off the BBC, didn't he? He got killed off Mock the Week. He wasn't allowed on so many shows, wasn't he, when he come out with some jokes, especially about Diana.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, that was weird that last week, because Ricky Gervais was talking about obviously the trans jokes that he was doing, and then Frankie Boyle was having a go at him. I thought, what a weird person to have a go at someone.
Yeah.
And I thought, I've seen Frankie Boyle do jokes about, like, you know, which one of, like, was Peter Andre or like Katie Price going to get Harvey, because he was like scared that Harvey was going to rape them, and I was like going, and I've laughed at those jokes, but I'm thinking, the last person on earth I would have thought is someone suddenly kind of saying, well, actually, you can't say these things.
Yeah.
And I still like, you know, both of them, but I remember thinking it's just a weird person to kind of go, well, you can't say this about trans people, because I've seen Frankie Boyle say the worst things in the world. You kind of, even I'm going, like, oh, Jesus Christ.
I remember Jimmy Carr said a joke, and it was like, what's his worst ever joke? And it was something to do with the lines of a malaria net, and it was like, it was to protect the mosquitoes. It was something, or it was an all, I can't remember the actual joke, but, and it's like, since you started comedy, Chris, has the line been pushed in terms of like, you definitely can't say that more in 2020? But I imagine obviously it has, but like, is that line?
I think every I think everything's got like a tell by date, in that you can say some stuff, but sometimes I remember like I was going to comedy clubs when Diana died. I wasn't doing comedy, but I was watching it. But I remember like people just like walking out of comedy clubs because someone mentioned it.
Really?
Mentioned like, yeah, and like, you know, 9/11 and stuff. You couldn't, when 9/11 happened, you were like, oh my god, don't even refer to it. Whereas then, like a few years later, people making jokes about it, and people would, after a while, people just don't get offended. It's all what's in like the zeitgeist, really. That's what people get offended by. If it's kind of like topical and stuff, and it's kind of current affairs, people get offended by it. But after a while, you know. But I remember literally seeing like half a comedy club get up and leave
Because of a
somebody,
Diana joke.
as a Diana joke, yeah. And like,
That's
literally
crazy.
like a dozen people standing up and leaving, you know, a room because of a joke.
It's mad how, obviously I was quite young, but it's mad how, like, Diana was, like, loved, wasn't she? She's so kind of like, as if like, I mean, I'm not a particular fan of the Royals. Like, I've met that Harry quite a number of times. That Harry's great. I'm not a royalist or anything, but I just think it's mad how Diana is held in such esteem when no one in fucking Liverpool knew her. But like, you know, there's this like you say, half a comedy club getting up, oh, you can't say that. It's like,
I was gutted when Diana went because we cancelled the match. I was going to Newcastle match that day. We won the replay, but Michael Owen. But I remember just being genuinely pissed off. Going, yeah.
did they cancel a game for that?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
The Liverpool game. It was a Sunday morning, and I had a ticket to go, and they cancelled the game. And I remember thinking to myself, "Fucking, if I died at the match, they'd just fucking drag me out, you know, and they'd carry on fucking playing."
What about when the Queen Mother died? I think the Queen Mother died in like 2000, didn't they? They didn't close games for that or anything like that, did they?
I think because it happened on a weekend, didn't it? I know that Diana went. It was like the Sunday morning.
It was
I remember I had the radio on, and like the music was all like kind of like, I used to sleep with the radio on. I remember waking up and all the music was like that somber music. It wasn't like the normal radio. But I don't remember what happened when the Queen Mum died. I remember being pretty sad because I had a really good joke about the Queen Mum never dying and being like Highlander. And they would have had to cut her head off to die, and then she died. It was like, that's a good routine. And it just fucking died with her. Yeah, they cancelled the entire football. Football got cancelled because a royal died.
It's mad, isn't it? How like some things are like so. I mean, at the last podcast we done was with Rob Pope, the guy who recreated the Forrest Gump film. Like, I've never known a challenge like it, what he's done, and yet it's just not got the attention it deserves.
Yeah,
and it's like with the Diana thing. It's like, it's mad, isn't it? How it's like, just some things really affect everyone, and everyone knows about it, and everyone's got an opinion on it. And some of the things happen that just no one fucking bats an eyelid about. It is weird, isn't it? How some things are like massive, and some things are like, oh well, you know.
And there's so many. It's so true that, because there's so many people with incredible, like Rob, who's run across the USA 5 times in 422 days. How
it's like getting up every day for 422 days and running 36 miles.
36 miles every single day, and how there's so many people who that wasted potential or talent that just doesn't get the exposure that it deserves. There's so many, like, I mean, we're sat with a comedian. There's so many comedians that probably don't get the exposure that they deserve. Like,
I could name like a dozen comedians who were just outstanding comedians, who were just so good, and I just think, why aren't you famous? But it's you know, it's just like sometimes your face has got to fit, and you got to take a particular style, and some people are just too much, you know, for telling stuff, and just doesn't quite carry over. But you know, you just think it's frustrating to. I mean, I'm not that arse myself, because all I wanted to be is where I am. But there's so many comedians who think to me, I'm talking, thinking, watching them, going, why aren't you massive? You know, why are you just like in this club with me, you know, at my level, when you're so far past my level? It's glaringly obvious. It's like watching, like, you know, Ronaldo play for, like, you know, like some, like Wigan, you know, just running around all these places. You should be fucking, you know, leagues above, and you're not, and it's weird to watch.
It is weird, isn't it? How that talent gets, like, mate, if anything that's a benefit is that TV networks aren't in charge anymore. It's social media that's in charge. So if you want to become the next Michael McIntyre, whoever, or a family comedian, or if you want to become the next Frankie Boyle, then putting videos on social media, you've got a way of bypassing those networks that potentially might say that you haven't got the family face, but I suppose ultimately the end decision is the market ultimately decides whether you're funny or not, and you become the Michael McIntyre. Like the market is the market. The market decides.
Yeah, that fella got a show from Netflix. Would that have happened if we weren't all just trapped in the house? So a lot of people have done well out of this. So, you know, fair play to them, because they have gone past that, like they have bypassed that thing, and the people are just seeing what they like. I mean, there's plenty of people who do well out of like YouTube and the internet and, you know, stuff like that. So good, fair play to them.
That's one thing. It probably goes into that though. You know, fucking breaks me. It absolutely breaks me. And by moaning about it, which I'm going to now, it might come across like I'm fucking jealous or something. I don't know, but I just think maybe I'm too old. I don't really understand it, but it breaks me. Some of these YouTube famous people, like influencers and stuff like that, how it's like, I totally agree with everything you've just said, Tom, about it can fast forward your career in some aspects to be a comedian, get you noticed. But I also think there's a massive thing, Chris, how maybe you've came up being a comedian, putting in the hard yards, putting in the hours, you know, getting your knockbacks, you know, getting, you know, bombing at shitty comedy clubs in fucking Bolton to then, you know, getting where you are now. There's something to be said for that, you know what I mean? That's got to be respected and that's got to be earned, I think. And I think what YouTube's done, or social media, is just given this massive shortcut where you can go, you know what, I'll bang some videos out for 6 months, and yeah, it's quite funny, and I've got now 10 times the notoriety as Chris has got, and now I'm earning 10 times as much as Chris, and yeah, I'm dead funny. And I mean, it comes across as jealousy or bitterness, but it breaks me. And I think young people sometimes now have lost that kind of work ethic to kind of actually, you know what, I need to just stick with it and stick with it and stick with it, and one day I'll get my break. And that does frustrate me. I look at the boxing world, you know, that Logan Paul or whatever his name is, he's calling out Conor McGregor. And you're like, this Conor McGregor, whether you love him or you hate him, he's worked hard since he was, you know, 7, 8, 9, 10 at MMA. He's got to where he is now. And then some YouTuber fucking does boxing for 18 months and is now calling out one of the greatest MMA fighters. And it's like...
And you'd pay to, the thing is, you want to watch it just to see him get webbed everywhere, don't you?
Yeah.
You know
That's
what's
thing,
going to be a good fight. You want to watch it because he's such an obnoxious little tit. You're thinking, I'll pay 20 quid just to see Conor McGregor wipe the floor with him, because he's clearly a knobhead and he's doing it. Thinking, well, even if I get like battered everywhere, I've only got to take a few digs, go down, I'll get paid 40 million quid.
Yeah.
You know.
And it takes away, I think, that work ethic. Because if I said, yeah, look at Chris, you know, he's a good mate of mine. Look where he's got with his life now. He's worked at comedy all his life, and he's doing what he wants to do. He enjoys himself. You know, be like Chris. Or you can go, or I can spend 6 months editing videos on YouTube, and it might work that way, and I'll do that way instead, rather than spend 10, 15, 20 years doing what Chris done. And it's like,
you know what? It's a double-edged sword sometimes. I just think, well, fair play to them. You know, if it goes for them, you know, worrying about what other people do and I've got. That's what I think. That's where a lot of people's misery comes from. You know, you think, well, I haven't got this and I haven't got that, but I'm just grateful for what I've got, really. So,
that's what I mean. I think it comes across when you moan about it or you voice an opinion like I am. It comes across like I'm bitter or jealous, and it's far from it, because there's not on that.
No, it's not. It's just frustration, because you can see something, like I say, that Logan Paul thing's a perfect example. You got people who've been training since they were like, like a kid, and then
Jazzer or
Jazzer,
they've worked, so hard, and then just some rebel comes along, and he'll never get how many people would like to fight Conor McGregor, or these these massive, like these boxers and stuff would like to see that, and then they don't get to do it because some like YouTubers gone, I'll have a go, mate. You think, well, I've been trying to get this fight for 10 years, and then just some Blair comes along and says, I'll do it, mate, because he's been called out, he'll get it, and then some promoter will go, yeah, this is good because this will sell, because all the boxing people want to see someone get battered, and all the YouTube blades will watch it anyway because they want to see him win, but after he won't win because. But once you said it, I was thinking Logan Paul. I know who that is because my daughter watches all that kind of stuff. But you'd watch it to see him get battered.
Yeah,
I genuinely would watch it. Yeah, just on that premise. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, the market is the market. Like, the market decides what becomes popular and what is, because it is what it is, isn't it? It's whether it's right or wrong. Yeah. I mean, if I'm on your side, Andy. I completely agree. Like, I don't think it's just, anyway. Go on,
If
Chris,
Conor McGregor called me out and said, I'll fight you in 6 months' time for 40 million quid, I'm training for 4 months, for 6 months. Out there, get punched once and lay on the floor in the fetal position with 40 million quid. So, in fact, Conor McGregor, I'm calling you out now. Come get me, knobhead. Your tattoos are crap.
It's probably there's people maybe watching this because this is out to everyone, and people are either going to be thinking, you know what, it's quite funny listening to them three just talk shite about weekly events. I'll sign up for the Patreon for £1 a week. Or people are going to be thinking, why the fuck is anyone giving £1 a week to listen to this?
By the way, we do all the things apart from. I think, Chris, there will be a segment on this which will be about 6 minutes of you trying to work Zoom.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be the most entertaining bit. Really, is
I like that.
Me trying to work out Zoom on a speaking spell. Because
I like we get the we obviously, Chris, you've been a guest anyway. We've kind of heard your story and stuff, which was great. But I like the fact that we've got the different guests on. But I like I said to you the other day, Chris, this is fast becoming one of my favourite parts of the week. Just shooting the shit with your mate and just having your mate.
It feels like ages since we did one in the the proper one. And I can't wait to get back to that, because I enjoy doing them. Because we were supposed to do one with me the week before, and there was COVID issues, and then you just think, fucking,
it's just not the same. It's just not as much of I've loved tonight. Yeah, it's such like therapy. It's just not the same as in person, is it? It's just completely different. And
it's like Babe Station. It's okay to watch, but it's sure to be a boozer watching a stripper. I mean, the girl's technically the same, but it's not the same, is it?
No.
But it's still good. It's like bad sex. It's still decent.
Yeah. There's that thing, isn't it? I used to always watch. Might come as a shock to people, but I love poetry, and there's a YouTube channel called Def Jam Poetry, and I don't think they do it anymore, but I think it was like in New York, in like a New York basement or something, and it had that cool, really look. Like, I don't know, like an underground kind of
bohemian level, yeah,
it was just cool, like this, where they all come together and poets would come out and stuff, and there was a line, and he said, poetry is like sex, even when it's like, even when it's shit, it's not that shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, sex is sex at the end of the day.
Any bad sex is better than no sex, isn't it? So it's
definitely.
Yeah, so that's
a married man. I can vouch for that. It's my birthday on the 28th, so hopefully the missus watching this. Or I'll make sure she does it.
3 weeks today. How old are you, Chris?
I'll be 47 on the 28th. So
remember that song?
Aging like dead. Yeah, I'm getting on, man. I went for a big walk today, for about an hour and a half. And when I came back in, I sat down. I went, "Oh, that's nice." And I thought, "Oh my God, that's such an old man thing to say." I was like, just sit down and go, "That's a genuinely pleasurable thing to do, to have a sit down after walking for that long." Yeah, I like a good sit down now.
I've really enjoyed this. Thank you, Chris.
Hey, no worries.
No, mate, you're a star. Thanks again.
We got there in the end, didn't we? Like you say, if you want to watch the first 4 minutes of me running around the house trying to get signed into Zoom, that my missus has downloaded on a computer on her account. So, but now we know for the next one that we do it again.
But yeah, awesome, mate, and thanks everyone for the continued support as well. It's been great, loads of boss messages from all the previous pods and stuff, and keep supporting, keep watching, and thanks again.
Yeah, cheers guys, thank you so much.